What's going on YouTube? It's JSauce back again with another video, and today we have Frost Battle League Week 1. If you did not check out my team recap, I highly recommend you do. Today, I am facing Coach LogIce and his absolutely disgusting team. This was ranked number 1 in power rankings for both PRs that the division got. So we're looking a little rough, but the owner, Manu, told me my Sun team was 16th in power rankings. So I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm looking for vengeance. And let's start this team builder. So first thing I noticed, this was a weird matchup. I didn't want to bring Sun into Raging Bolt, which it's simply just Raging Bolt because it looks great otherwise. But man, that Raging Bolt is a literal hell spawn with Terra. So I started off with Assault Vest over Quill. Felt really good this matchup into everything except Dawnfan and maybe Quillfish. It's just very good with Intimidate and moves that have a chance to poison like Gunk Shot or Poison Jab. Maybe Poison Jab should have been Barb Barrage, but I didn't think about that till later. But yeah, Poison, Dark, Water coverage kind of goes ham against this team. It's also a great switch into Meowscarada. With Assault Vest comes a great switch into Iron Bundle. And even Raging Bolt to an extent, especially if it's Terra Fairy, like I predict it to be. I'm really banking on this Overquill doing a lot defensively for me, and I think it can. I think it's got all the tools it needs to succeed this week. However, despite me wanting it to be a wall, as you can see by the EVs, we actually ran it a little speedy just to outspeed Moltres. I actually ran a lot of attack. I wanted to be able to hit hard because yes, this was good defensively, but it was also amazing offensively. So I want to be able to punish stuff and not be so passive. So I'm only running like a little bit of bulk, a moderate amount, but with the Assault Vest and Intimidate, it should make up for the EVs. Next up, we have Walking Wake. Now, Terra Fairy Walking Wake makes complete sense when you see that his only real fairy type beaters are Metagross and, like, I guess Quillfish. And you know what? Quillfish, there's no way Quillfish is eating this Draco Meteor. And Metagross doesn't want to take a flamethrower. You know what? If it comes in, I got Flip Turn anyways. But yeah, we're rocking Assault Vest this week because I didn't know what else to run. I could run this extremely bulky because I didn't need that much speed. I just needed to outspeed, like, I think I outsped max speed Raging Bolt because I don't predict Moltres or Quillfish to go max speed. So I was able to be modest and put everything into my special attack and drop tactical nukes. And then I just put the remaining in HP with an Assault Vest to help out with Walking Wake and Iron Bundle. Mainly, like Specs, Whimsicott can give me a little bit of trouble, although I don't see it coming. This thing is mainly here just for Raging Bolt. With Terra, I can flip the script and probably beat it 1v1, especially with a good read. And outside of that, not many things want to switch into it. Not many things can come in and beat it. So bulking wake, as I like to call it, or walking tank, is coming this week. It's a little unorthodox, but I think it's going to get the job done. Next up, we have our Screamtail rocking the Mental Herb this week because Encore Whimsicott just gave me a headache. I don't want to come and counter Screamtail, especially with Prankster. So we got Wish, Encore, Stealth Rock, Boomburst. Boomburst just because there's no Ghost type. It was better coverage than like Dazzling Gleam this week, I think, because Metagross wants to come on Screamtail. Always, and so does Quillfish. And instead of just picking one stab or the other, or like maybe trying to fit Flamethrower on there, I just went for Boomburst because he only has one resist and it can Terra. Stealth Rocks, obviously, there's a Moltres, there is an Iron Bundle. Like, Stealth Rocks are coming, even if he runs Heavy Duty Boots on both, or Dawnfan comes, it'll be okay, because Screamtail should live to put rocks up more than once if it has to. Enough speed to outspeed max speed Raging Bolt as well, because if it Calm Minds, I can Encore it. And Wish is just there for support. It really helps out both my AV Pokemon, as well as just all of the Pokemon here. This thing's really designed to just be annoying. I ran Spadef to help out with Raging Bolt and Iron Bundle some more. Um, I am kind of leaving way for Ursaring and Metagross to be a problem, but I feel like Metagross has to be a certain set this week. I feel like it's got to be Terra Water or else it kind of gets cooked. I feel like it's just a weird matchup for it. If it is Terra Water, however, we have a Rotom to just completely cook it. Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, Pain Split, Hydro Pump. So Rotom lost Toxic, unfortunately, and there's a Raging Bolt on the other side. So I had to be on Pain Split. Additionally, Will-O-Wisp goes fucking crazy against this team. You got Meowscarada, you got Metagross, Quillfish. Obviously, Ursaring likes to be status, but hell, even Donphan doesn't want to be burned. Raging Bolt does not like the chip damage. Like, it's going to be super good. Volt Switch is here because I always want to be able to Volt Switch on Raging Bolt. Hydro Pump is for the Donphan. And with our EV spread this week, Volt Switch always one-shots Iron Bundle if it is running no HP, no Spadef, which it's not going to this week, but it also has a 50% chance to kill Iron Bundle with Volt Switch if it speed creeps properly and puts the amount of leftover EVs into HP. I forget what number that is, but I calculated it's a 50% chance. Running the Yachi Berry, which is a little bit weird because we resist ice, but of course Iron Bundle keeps that freeze dry on him, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to take a hit and bait it, and then Volt Switch on out. Enough speed to outspeed base speed Moltres again. The guy's speed tiers are a little bit wonky because Raging Bolt, Quillfish, Moltres don't really love to be running speed, meaning that I can kind of get away with speed creeping and running a lot of bulk. And I want to be max, or I want to put the rest in Fizz Def this week just for the Donphan, just for the Metagross, because the rest of my guys are Spadef, they're AV. I want something to tank those, and with my Yachi Berry, I'm not too worried about Iron Bundle Freeze Dry. Next up, we have our Slitherwing this week, rocking U-Turn, First Impression, Close Combat, Wild Charge. This hits literally everything on his team for neutral damage at least. And with Protective Pads, I don't have to worry about Rocky Helmet, Quillfish. I don't have to worry about Flame Body, Moltres. It's a phenomenal switch into Meowscarada. Of course, if it gets knocked off, then that's a little scary. But having First Impression is just so good this matchup into Slitherwing, into Meowscarada. Wild Charge allows me to hit Moltres, Quillfish, and Close Combat is just the strongest move it's got, and it completely bonks everything. The two fighting resists are weak to Electric. We got Terra Bug. I don't plan on tearing it, but Terra Bug U-Turn First Impression goes a little bit crazy. And like the only way he can hit Bug super effectively is through that Moltres, which is coming in anyways. So I think I'm fine with just rocking Terra Bug. It's one of the rare matchups where Terra Bug defensively does kind of cook, which is pretty cool. This was one of the sets I was a little shaky on. I think it's going to put in work. Obviously, Sped Crept for Moltres, like half the team. It's bulky. Slitherwing is like deceptively bulky, so I can see it just coming in, living a hit, and revenging something, which is going to be very nice because if I can trade with any of his team members, I think I'll be happy with it. And finally, we have Brambleghast, who, I don't know, I feel a little weird bringing Spikes, Rapid Spin, Strength Zap, Poltergeist. So Spikes seems super good versus this team. Moltres lost Defog, I believe. So his only remover is that Donphan, but with some attack investment, Donphan can actually do some damage to me and probably 2-hit KO, which is not good considering that this is my spin blocker. Spikes just look insane. Otherwise, Rapid Spin is there because Donphan has rocks. But mainly for Quillfish if it wants to spam Spikes. Strength Zap is obviously just one of the most broken moves in the game. It smokes Metagross, Meowscarada, hell, even Donphan and Ursaring, and keeps me recovering so I can set more Spikes. And Poltergeist is just a very, very good move. Yes, he has Ursaring, which is a little scary, especially since I can't hit it otherwise. But Outside of that, nothing really likes to be taking a Poltergeist, even Meowscarada. Uh, Coming off a base 115 attack, it's a little spooky. Ice ran mixed defenses this week with enough to speed creeping Moltres. Again, the speed tiers for me were very beneficial, as everything that's not Kamala can firmly just creep Moltres and run max bulk. Like, very, very phenomenal speed tiers for me this week. Worked out in my favor. But yeah, that's the team for this week. Let's get into the battle. Alright, so here we have the battle. Brought mostly everything I was expecting. No Moltres, no Donphan leaves me absolutely celebrating, because now he's got absolutely zero way to remove hazards. Moltres means my Slitherwing can't get burned if it gets knocked off. Like, it's super good because his only bug resist is that Quillfish, who I can play around with Protective Pads and Wild Charge. The Terra on Raging Bolt is Fairy, like I predicted, and Metagross is Water, like I predicted. So I feel pretty smart right about now. I'm glad I was able to predict those right. Upon first glance, Metagross just looks like a problem. I didn't really prep for Ursaluna Ursaring that much, so I'm not sure how much it'll be a problem. My lead here is just Slitherwing because, like I said, he's got one bug resist, and, you know, if he leads with that, I can switch into something else. He leads Metagross as I lead Slitherwing. I don't want to risk it being a fast Metagross, so I just immediately go into Overquill, and it takes 72, and now my Overquill is basically useless. But he goes into his Quillfish, reveals Rocky Helmet as Crunch does a little bit of chip, as Ice have a free Rotom Wash switch in. Good flip turn there, as Raging Bolts now comes in. Ice goes Scream Tail to bait out a Calm Mind, as I do. And this might be the best turn of Mons I've ever seen in my life. You guys just need to watch. I Encore his Calm Mind, but he has a Mental Herb. So he taunts me back, but I have my Mental Herb. So now we're at base 0. I Encore again, just in case he wants to taunt. But he just goes into Metagross. That's fine, because I have an Overquill I can sack. But it reveals Trick Lagging Tail, which is interesting. And now that Metagross has an Assault Vest, which is absolutely disgusting, I go into Rotom Wash to Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, brings an Ursaring. That's a very good play. And it's looking very bad for me here. I just gave Ursaring Guts, and I'm down an Overquill, which would have been very good here. I go Brambleghast on the bulk up. So this is funny because I can't really touch it, but, obviously he's a little scared of me. By his Strength Sap, I'm just trying to stall out. I'm setting up spikes at this point because I know that Quillfish cannot touch me, and I just want to get as many layers as I can. Meowscarada comes on out, which is fine. I just go Scream Tail because I'm bulky and, I could have went Slitherwing. I didn't want to get knocked off. It's fine. U-Turn just reveals standard damage. I believe Jolly. I set Stealth Rock on this Metagross as he overpredicts. I wouldn't say overpredicts, as he predicts and goes Psychic Fangs, and then I go into Rotom on a Heavy Slam. Things are looking better now because he's on a timer with all of these hazards. I believe this should be a Volt Switch. Yep. And now we go Walking Wake. I obviously Terra Fairy in front of it. I predict his Terra Fairy and click Hydro Pump. This next play wasn't optimal and left way too much risk. I click Hydro Pump again because I want to bait Scarf or something, even though if he did any calcs at all, he should see that I'm very bulky with AV. But yeah, Iron Bundle comes on in, Scream Tail. I'm just trying to sack, see if it specs or anything. It's not to my knowledge. So I just throw off a Wish here because there's nothing much I can do. Rotom Wash comes in because Barbarage is going to bring me down to 60. I just want to get all my health back up. Poisons me so well, I want Volt Switch spam. Clicks Pain Split actually reveals to be creeping a good amount because my Rotom should have outsped that. So that's a little weird. But yeah, I just go Slitherwing again. Metagross comes on out. With Lagging Tail, I find it hard to imagine that it was fast, so I just click U-Turn on a Psychic Fangs, which is good. I click Wish there because I feel like if it was Bullet Punch, I would have clicked Bullet Punch there. And so knowing that, I go into my Walking Wake because Wake can kill and then get healed all the way to full. But even if it was Bullet Punch, I have like a 50% chance to live, which honestly, we take those because even if it doesn't live, then Slitherwing goes ham. But yeah, Metagross ends up dying. I'm back at full. Ursaring comes on out. I calc. I think it should kill, and Draco actually only does 35, which means that this is like max Spadef, which is bad for me. I just go Slitherwing though, because even if he like sleep talks into Facade, I'm honestly chilling because all three of his Pokemon are weak to fighting. Close combat absolutely nukes him. Neoscarada comes on in. I just sack something. At this point, it's Brambleghast because he's done his job. Triple Axle, that's fine. Slitherwing could just come in, first impression kill, and then close combat the Iron Bundle. So this is a guaranteed win at this point, and yeah, wow, that looked incredibly scary. I show off Wild Charge for the tech here, I'm gonna be real. Has Iron Bundle, that's the funny Iron Bundle thing. I'm just gonna keep a stack. Things were not looking good. I was on the back foot early this game, and through the way of Brambleghast, I was able to get back in this game with some good plays, some good reads, but mainly hazards. I think hazards in Gen 9 are phenomenal. I think, honestly, Brambleghast impressed me. I didn't expect it to contribute significantly, and turns out when there's no removers on the other team, spikes are pretty good. I was just very impressed with everybody on the team except for Overquill, but to be fair, I can't be too mad. I didn't invest too much HP into it. But yeah, that was week 1 of FBL versus LogIce. LogIce. It was a great game. I'm just glad I got to start the season out strong. Week 2, we faced Banded Caterpie, and it's looking to be a banger. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. J Sauce out.